You wake up one morning and the lifetime savings that were enough to buy a nice house yesterday can't buy a single loaf of bread today. Your salary hits your account, but it's already worthless before you can even touch it. People don't carry money in wallets anymore. They carry it in wheelbarrows. This is not a movie scene. This is not a dystopia. This is hyperinflation. And it has happened far more often than we like to think. We usually see money as something reliable, right? There's the state, there's the system, it'll somehow keep working, we say. But history tells a very different story. Because hyperinflation doesn't just destroy money. It destroys trust. It tears families apart. It fractures societies. Sometimes, it even destroys countries. Now I'm going to tell you 5 real stories. 5 countries. 5 economies. And 5 lessons about how money disappeared. But keep this in mind while listening. Inflation doesn't usually arrive shouting. It comes quietly. It whispers. And by the time most people notice, it's already far too late. Let's start with Germany. The Weimar Republic. World War I was over, but for Germany, the real destruction was just beginning. The Treaty of Versailles placed such a massive debt on the country that not paying it, even imagining paying it, was impossible. So what did the state do? It printed money. At first, nobody panicked. We can manage, they said. Then prices doubled. Then doubled again. Then again. And at some point, control was completely lost. In November 1923, a single loaf of bread cost 200 billion marks. People burned money in stoves because it was cheaper than buying firewood. Children played with stacks of banknotes. But that wasn't the real disaster. The real disaster was this. People completely lost faith in money. And when a society loses trust in its currency, it loses trust in everything. That exact environment of chaos, anger, and despair opened the door for extremists. And 10 years later, Hitler came to power. That was no coincidence. Now let's go to Zimbabwe. The early 2000s. Sanctions, mismanagement, and the collapse of agriculture. The economy came to a complete stop. And the government did the same thing again. It printed money. By 2008, inflation had reached an unbelievable level. 79.6 billion%. Prices doubled every single day. The government kept adding zeros to banknotes. 10 million. 100 billion. 100 trillion. Eventually, they gave up. They abandoned their own currency. But it was already too late, the damage was done. Pensions were wiped out. Industry collapsed. An entire generation left the country. Who survived, do you know who? Those who had land. Those who had skills. Those who had real value. Hungary. 1946. This is known as the worst hyperinflation in recorded history. The war was over, but the economy was in ruins. Once again, the government chose the same solution, printing money. You might not believe this, but at one point, prices were doubling every 15 hours. The inflation rate is almost impossible to say. 41.9 quadrillion%. Money became so meaningless that they invented new currencies. Then threw them away too. In the end, they erased everything and started over. But the middle class was gone. Savings were gone. The state's credibility was gone. Hyperinflation didn't just erase the economy. It erased the past. Venezuela. A country rich in oil. But slowly hollowed out by bad policies. Money was printed. Price controls were imposed. Production stopped. In 2018, inflation surpassed 1,000,000%. If you didn't spend your salary the day you got it, it lost its value the very next day. Store shelves were empty. People returned to barter. Doctors and engineers fled the country, trying to survive elsewhere. The government added zeros. Then deleted zeros. But you can't erase lost trust. And Yugoslavia. The 1990s. War, sanctions, collapse. Monthly inflation reached 313,000,000%. Prices doubled every day and a half. The official currency meant nothing to anyone. Everyone used German marks and US dollars. Your own money was wallpaper. And the pattern was always the same. Crisis. Money printing. Loss of trust. Collapse. Different countries. Different years. The same mistake. Now you might be thinking, that's the past. We're smarter now. Are we? Today, the world is at record levels of debt. Central banks printed trillions for years. For a while, it seemed to work. Then inflation came back. Rents went up. Food got more expensive. Wages fell behind. There is no hyperinflation yet. But the warning signs are there. And history tells us this. These things don't happen overnight. They start slowly. Then they accelerate. So this isn't about panic. It's about awareness. Understanding what money really is. Recognizing when it becomes risky. Knowing that real wealth is not paper. Never forgetting that it is purchasing power. And keep this in mind. Inflation is a hidden tax. A silent thief. But now you know. You've seen it through real examples. And when someone tells you one day, this could never happen here, you know exactly what to say. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History holds the answers. I'll keep showing you where to look, brother.